Hello, it is Wednesday, April 20th, 2022. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It is the Wednesday puzzle, so perhaps a little bit easier than, a little bit more difficult than the first couple of puzzles this week so far. I think yesterday was maybe on the easier side for a Tuesday. I think I saw some people who felt that way as well. But we'll see. It's another themed puzzle. And today's video has been brought to us by Skella Chicken, Quotidiophile, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster and the invaluable Timothy Mark. So thank you so much to all four of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign. And if you'd like to join their ranks and receive that Let's Check the Crosses official Daily Solve mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve. And, of course, if you back the Patreon campaign at any level, you get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the Patreon feed to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. So do check that out. Link in the description field underneath the video, where you can also find a link to the Daily Solve Discord chat server, the community chat server. And you get an extra channel on there if you're a Patreon subscriber as well, but the rest of it is free for everybody to join. And other than that, I would just remind you to please subscribe to the channel if you've not yet done so, if you've been enjoying these videos. And with that, let's get on to today's video. Of course, as I said, it's a Wednesday puzzle. It was constructed by Joseph Greenbaum and edited, as always, by Will Shorts. Joseph Greenbaum has done a few puzzles before, not too many for the New York Times. Oops, what have I done? Is that right? There we go. Okay, let's get started. Congratulatory gestures. I don't know, claps or slaps. I don't know that I think of a clap as a gesture. I suppose it's more of a, I guess you could say it's a gesture. A slap is also a gesture. Self-satisfied could be smug, so maybe it is slaps. You could congratulate your self-satisfied self with a slap on your own back. Use a beam on. As for cutting, you could laze something with a laser, I guess. An Apple consumer with an unhappy story to tell. I wonder if this is a themed clue. I don't know. It sort of reads like one, but it doesn't look like one, if you see what I mean. I would expect it to be, well, downs are less common for clues to begin with. Shorter answers are less common for themes. Sorry, for themes, not for clues. I don't know. Apple consumer with an unhappy story to tell. I'm not sure. Mint could be the plant. It could be mint as in a mint that mints money, that produces money. It could be mint as in brand new quality. Oh, and actually, sorry, I've just noticed 17 across is italicized, which means that will be one of the themes, which fits exactly what I just said. It's in the acrosses, and it's a longer answer. So that means 3 down is almost certainly not theme related. It's just some kind of pun, because the question mark indicates as such. Okay, let's keep looking around. Submitted could be sent in. Todo sobre mi blank, 1999 Almodovar film. Madre, I'm guessing? I just saw, well, not just, several weeks ago I saw Almodovar's latest film, Parallel Mothers, and it was extremely, extremely good, I thought. He's a great filmmaker. Okay, Apple, I see. Apple consumer with an unhappy story to tell. It is Adam from Genesis in the Bible, the biblical story of Adam and Eve. That's very clever. A consumer of an apple with an unhappy story to tell. Very good. Aptly named Olympic splinter. Oh, Usain Bolt. Okay, so that here we have another theme that potentially can be answered straightforwardly without needing to solve any kind of mechanic or figure anything out. This is just the answer to the clue, but of course there's something thematic going on. So maybe we're going to get people whose names match some quality they have or their profession or something. So Usain Bolt is obviously very fast, like a bolt of lightning. It's multifaceted. A gemstone might be. Tiny floppy disk for save. That's the icon for saving on a computer. So interesting how we still use a tiny floppy disk for that icon so frequently, despite the fact that we haven't used floppy disks. In fact, I would wager there are people watching this video who may know what a floppy disk is, but never actually encountered one in their lives. Reign could be rule, to reign, to rule. That works as a noun or a verb. Decided, put, or set maybe. Division of the Treasury Department. The IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, is a division of the Treasury Department in the United States government. And stick on a rack is a cue stick in pool, snooker, one of those things. So if you decided something, you set it. Murder mystery or roaring 20s for a party. Oh, a theme. A theme for a party. You could have a murder mystery themed party, and we're going to have a theme in this puzzle as well. Puts out light as a star. Twinkles, I guess, as they say poetically. If a star puts out light, it twinkles. Angelic in a way, haloed, maybe, in a painting. Blank strategy. You could have an exit strategy. My exit strategy for this video is to solve the crossword and then discuss a few clues from yesterday. Most substantial part is the meat of an idea, maybe, and a small vortex is an eddy. So let's just check the crosses here. Like some legs and mustaches, you could wax those. Would mean a different thing in each case. Epic poem written in dactylic hexameter. Iliad, yes. So dactylic hexameter is a different poetic meter to, say, iambic pentameter, which is what Shakespeare famously used. And Emily Wilson, who translated the Odyssey recently, and I think she might be working on or recently concluded an Iliad translation as well. I'm not sure. But when she translated the Odyssey from ancient Greek into modern English, she decided to translate it into iambic pentameter, which is not common for translations of the Odyssey, because her rationale was, well, as dactylic hexameter was sort of the natural flow of speech, the natural poetic flow of speech in ancient Greek, so is iambic pentameter in English. So it makes sense to sort of change to that poetic meter in order that it sounds natural in the language in which it's being read or spoken. I thought that was interesting. It's a really fun translation, actually, if you've not read the Odyssey, Emily Wilson. So I have not read her Iliad, if indeed she's done one. Okay, rudely arrogant. Snotty, maybe? Be as you wish to something, Socrates. Be as you wish to. I don't know, yeah. And speaking of the ancient Greeks, what about this? The Cowardly Lion back in Kansas. Oh, is this his name? This is the name of the person whom Dorothy, I guess, because the whole idea of the Wizard of Oz is that it was all sort of a dream that Dorothy was having, right? So this was someone Dorothy knew. I'm not sure. Blank no sin to cheat the devil, Daniel Defoe. And mint. Oh, pristine condition. Pristine condition, mint condition. So blank no. Tis no sin to cheat the devil, Daniel Defoe. Okay, I see. That's good. That's a good quote. Painter of the Garden of Earthly Delights. That is Hieronymus Bosch, one of his extremely, I don't even know what you'd call it, surreal and unearthly kind of paintings. Well, just said unearthly, and it's a painting literally called The Garden of Earthly Delights, but you know what I mean. Sort of eerie, I guess. Okay, aptly named 6-time All-Star first baseman. Don't know. Am I going to be able to figure this out in the punny way that is intended? I'm not sure. Let's keep looking. Bread with a palindromic name. Well, we know it'll have an N at the beginning because it has an N at the end, and a palindrome means it reads the same in either direction. So I think it's naan, the Indian bread. To capture could be to net something. A bygone airline with a logo nicknamed the Blue Meatball. Must be Pan Am in this number of letters with that A there. Pan Am, Pan American Airways, I think they're the quintessential jet age airline of the 1960s. They're always depicted in period films, for instance. Okay, what about this? Actor Elgort of Baby Driver. Maybe this isn't net, but capture is nab, maybe. So another word that actually works all right there. So fortunately, I knew this name, Ansel Elgort of Baby Driver, so that helped me out there. That was lucky. Otherwise, I could have gone much longer with that incorrect cross. Animal that symbolizes good fortune in Chinese culture. Is it a bat? There can't be very many animals that fit here. one who may use the pronoun I and I, meaning God in me. I'm not sure. And what about this? Aptly named tennis great. Oh, I don't know. Let's keep looking around. Cry for assistance. Help me. That's pretty straightforward. Be as you wish to seem. Oh, that makes sense. Be as you wish to seem. Socrates. So, yes. I wonder if this is sort of analogous to fake it till you make it in a way. Just act the way you wish to be seen. The Cowardly Lion back in Kansas. Oh, Zeke, I suppose. And shuts up could be zips it, maybe. Fielder, could this be? So a aptly named 6-time All-Star first baseman. Their name could end in fielder because they field balls. Is that possible? Unreliable sort could be a flake. Statistical calculation and event for a Comedy Central special. So you could have a roast in which comedians mock their fellow comedian in a sort of ironic tribute. Hold up could be rob, as in a store or a bank. Later could be bye, or simply saying goodbye. Missed a spot, question mark? Oh, missed a spot, I see. So the pun here, the question mark, the pun is that we are actually literally referring to misting with water, with spray. So statistical calculation, oh, you could calculate the margin of error, perhaps? And shake as a tail. Lose, very clever. So this doesn't mean shake a tail as in an animal's tail shaking. It means you're going to evade a tail, someone who's following you. Unnamed guests. And aptly named tennis greats. Oh, court, maybe? Could it end with court, as in tennis court? So unnamed guests. Plus ones. Yeah, that was in the crossword yesterday in some fashion, wasn't it? And then football carriers, abbreviation, I don't know. More than right. So if this refers to an angle geometrically, a right angle is 90 degrees, and then more than 90 degrees is an obtuse angle. To legally prohibit something is to stop it. And OG original gangster rapper. I'm not sure offhand. Later could be Sia. Oh, Ice-T, presumably. Okay, that sounds right. And word before wanna go home and Calypso. So Deo, if you remember that song. And instant as a decision could be a snap decision. And what driver's licenses serve as photo IDs? There we go. Aptly named NBA MVP in a manner of speaking. Well, this looks like Duncan to me. Oh, I see. As in Duncan, as in dunk a basketball. That's clever. New England seafood staple. Well, scrod is a fish, so that sounds right. Football carriers could be Arby's running backs. And mushrooms found in ramen are enoki mushrooms. Children's character who says, it's not much of a tail, but I'm sort of attached to it. Oh, that's Eeyore from Winnie the Pooh. Whose tail I think is pinned on, if I recall correctly. Organization behind the Artemis program. That's NASA. It's some kind of space program. And they allow you to kick back and relax. Leaning chairs or something? I'm not sure. Behind in England. Oh, arse. There we go. So behind meaning your rear end in this case. And then in England meaning we're using British slang rather than the American equivalent. Okay. 5 stars maybe. Raves or something. So rave reviews. Oh, Margaret Court, this looks like, doesn't it? Yes. And they allow you to kick back and relax. Leg rests. There we go. Leg rests. Listen to gossip in slang. Something around tea. Spilling the tea is dishing out gossip. What is this? Sip tea, maybe? How about that? I don't think I've heard this in that form, but it would make sense for the metaphor. Give attitude could be to sass somebody. And if you're digging something, you're into it. I dig that. I'm into it. Bread in French is pain, P-A-I-N. And writer nin would be anais nin. And period of work could be a stint. You could say I did a stint at that grocery store, for instance. An album is made up of songs. And 5 stars is a rating. Oh, I see. Okay, I was trying to think of... I had rating in mind, but I was trying to think of what 5 stars would be an excellent rating. So I was trying to think of that, but no, it's just generically rating. Okay. Aptly named Prince Fielder, maybe? Oh, Rasta. Rasta would use the pronoun I and I, so Rastafarian. And then animal that symbolizes good fortune in Chinese culture is a bat. Okay, so this all looks right. And then Prince Fielder, I had to just sort of infer that, I suppose. Oh, here we go. Aptly named, oh, right, I already looked at this one. Yeah, it's the Duncan one. Pop star whose name is stylized with an exclamation point in place of its second letter. Oh, I've seen this before. Well, the exclamation point would be an I. Is it Pink? I think Pink maybe stylizes her name that way. I think that's right. Gives the nod could be OK's. Plastic Blank Band. This is the Plastic Ono band, Yoko Ono's band. And insurance groups are HMOs. What does that stand for? I can't remember. Something, yeah, I don't remember. It's some sort of health insurance thing in the United States. So this looks like Tim Duncan. And then when doubled excessive. So if you doubled 2, you'd have 2, 2. That's just too much. It's 2, 2. And there's the puzzle. So I would certainly say that was a bit of a step up in difficulty from yesterday's Tuesday puzzle, but of course it's meant to be. It's the Wednesday. So let's look at our aptly named athletes. We had our aptly named Olympic sprinter Usain Bolt, our aptly named 6-time All-Star first baseman Prince Fielder, our aptly named tennis great Margaret Court, and our aptly named NBA MVP, in a manner of speaking, Tim Duncan. And that in a manner of speaking, I suppose, is what's giving us the license to interpret Duncan as a contraction of dunking the basketball. And there we have it. That's our puzzle. Good solid Wednesday puzzle. Bit of maybe difficult crosses here and there. Trying to think. I guess Anokis and Eeyore maybe. I don't really know. I guess Eeyore's probably pretty well known. Yeah, not too many cases where crosses are doubled up with something that's extremely difficult. I think most of the tough ones have fairly reasonable crosses against them. This little corner over here with this Rasta and bat took me till the end of the puzzle for the most part. Anyway, good solid Wednesday puzzle, I would say, and a fun theme with some athlete names that I can commit to memory to just slightly increase my meager sports knowledge. And now we can review some clues from yesterday's puzzle as well. This is part 2 of my exit strategy for getting out of this video today. So we have a few. Actually, this is appropriate. So speaking of sports, regarding the Final Four, which was used to describe an NCAA basketball tournament in yesterday's crossword, I sort of remarked, it seems like Final Four is really generally applied to college basketball in the United States and not very much to other tournaments. And Clark Miller said, Final Four, the Big Dance, Elite Eight, and March Madness are all NCAA trademarks. Sweet 16 is not. Oh, I see. So Sweet 16 spelled out S-I-X-T-E-E-N is not. But Sweet 16 with the number 16 is a trademark. And that's strange because all the other ones, Final Four, the Big Dance, and Elite Eight, are spelled out. So they must have just not been able to get 16. Maybe because Sweet 16 was... that's such a common phrase, perhaps, that it introduced some issues. I don't know. Anyway, so the NCAA has trademarked those, so that does sort of explain this. And then MK added to that saying, regarding the Final Four in the NCAA, I was surprised to learn basketball does seem to be the only one that has that branding. When I Googled, I suspected I'd see that it would be for all of the sports, and it's just a case where basketball in March Madness is the most popular of the NCAA championships. I know hockey does have the Frozen Four, which I think is a cute name, but I can't see any other sports going by Final Four. Go figure. Anyway, they've trademarked it. Edward James, regarding Medusa, says, so Medusa was indicated as one of the only, as the only mortal Gorgon. So Medusa is one of three Gorgons in Greek mythology, sisters with Stheno and Eurale. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that. But unlike them, Medusa wasn't born a monster, but cursed to be one by Athena. I assume that's the reason she's the only mortal one. Medusa gets killed by Perseus, whose horse Pegasus was a crossword answer pretty recently, if I'm not mistaken. You're not mistaken. That is exactly right. And I looked this up a bit myself as well, and there doesn't seem to be a particular reason Medusa is the only mortal Gorgon. It sounds like, just in the way that mythology evolves over time, I think, and I'm no classicist, but some cursory research suggests to me that Medusa, the Gorgon, existed in the mythology before her sisters did, and so this other element of the mythology kind of got bolted on, and then her sisters were not mortals, and it doesn't seem as though there's any really internally consistent, clear, singular example that holds true across all of the myths that explains why Medusa was mortal and her sisters weren't. It sort of is the result of the accretion of various components of the myths over time, and it just sort of ended up that way. So I apologize if I've said something grievously incorrect, but that was the sense I got from doing some reading. There isn't necessarily a tidy answer to that. Although you can find individual explanations in various myths, but they don't necessarily all propagate out in a consistent way. Anyway, that's that. That's it for today's Wednesday crossword. I'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday crossword, when we will, after a week of, I think, pretty gentle themes, we will have probably something a little more ambitious and difficult. So we'll have to see. Do join me for that. I hope you do. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday. Take care.